If you want to run high-risk raids, rapid response missions, and gain elite tactical training, most people think you have to join the military. But there's one unit inside federal law enforcement that does all of that and more. It's called BORTAC, the US Border Patrol's elite tactical unit. And as a coach training athletes for special operations careers, including some in BORTAC now, I've seen firsthand how recent administration changes, alongside an accelerated pipeline, have made many guys now open to or even shifting their plans to join BORTAC. In this video, I'll break down exactly what BORTAC operators do, how to join, and how to prepare yourself physically for selection. BORTAC was founded in 1984 as part of the then Immigration and Naturalization Service, and originally created to handle riots inside immigration detention facilities. But over the past 4 decades, its mission has expanded. Today, BORTAC are deployed nationwide and even overseas, handling hostage rescues, high-risk warrants, and even supporting counterterrorism. Organizationally, BORTAC falls under Border Patrol's Special Operations Group, alongside BORSTAR, which specializes in search and rescue. Approximately 240 full-time operators are spread across 11 sectors nationwide. Recent missions that you've probably heard of include the Portland riots and protests in 2020. There, BORTAC teams were called in to secure federal buildings and subdue riots. At the Uvalde school shooting in May 2022, BORTAC operators breached the school, evacuated children, and ultimately eliminated the shooter. But BORTAC has also operated outside the US in more than 24 countries, including Afghanistan, Colombia, Egypt, and Iraq. Missions include training law enforcement, building border security infrastructure, and working closely with partner military units. To join BORTAC, you first need to become a US Border Patrol agent. This is unlike elite military units like the Navy SEALs and Green Berets, which allow you to sign a contract which guarantees a shot at selection. But recent changes mean you can apply much earlier to join BORTAC than ever before, often within your first year of becoming an agent. Here's how to join. First, you'll apply through the CBP website to a Border Patrol agent opening. You'll then pass the written exam, PT test, background investigation, medical eval, and polygraph. The PT test is very simple, just sit-ups, push-ups, and marching in place for about 5 minutes. The polygraph, however, has been a major blocker to increasing the force, with recent data showing between half and 65% of all candidates are dropped for failing. But if you do qualify, and after you received and accepted your final offer, you'll then attend the 6-month Border Patrol Academy at Artesia, New Mexico, where you'll learn and be tested on border enforcement tactics, immigration and nationality law, the Spanish language, firearms, and of course, you'll be tested physically and mentally. After graduation, you'll be assigned to your first duty station at one of 20 Border Patrol sectors nationwide. You'll then spend several months in field training, where you'll learn and apply your areas of responsibility, followed by a couple-month-long journeyman phase, where you operate with limited supervision before you're fully autonomous as a US Border Patrol agent. Now, here's what's new. Previously, you had to serve as an agent for 2 to 3 years before applying to BORTAC, and now I'm hearing you can apply as soon as you finish field training, usually 6 to 12 months after graduating from the academy. So from the day you start the academy, you're looking at roughly 1 to 1.5 years before you can apply to join BORTAC. As part of your application to join BORTAC, several months before selection, you'll take the PAT, which includes a 300-meter sprint, sit-ups, push-ups, pull-ups, and a 1.5-mile run. Your scores will be ranked against everyone else trying to earn a slot, and many will not be invited to selection. So hitting the minimums on the screen isn't enough. And at the end of the video, I'll walk you through exactly how to prepare and the data behind it. Now, once you've crushed the PAT and get your invite, you'll have a few months to prep before selection. But you should know, BORTAC selection is modeled after the US Army's SFAS, and BORTAC leadership has even attended recent Army selections to inform their processes. And the recent attrition rates of 80% at BORTAC selection reflect that it's every bit as difficult. Each October, typically over 100 agents start selection in El Paso, Texas. In recent classes, only 15 to 25 made the cut. You can expect selection to be heavy on load carriage. You'll be moving apparatuses, navigating for hours on foot with heavy weights, and getting crushed under a rock. But unlike at SFAS, you're not spared from the water. You'll swim in full gear and tread. And of course, you'll also be expected to pass your pistol qual, crush your timed runs, calisthenics and conditioning, and do it all while sleep deprived and constantly evaluated. After the 3-week crucible, those still standing will be told whether they're selected or not, and the cadre will determine, based on a whole man criteria, including an individual's character and ability to work as a team, whether you're selected or not. Those who are selected will attend the BORTAC Basic Operator Training course. This training provides you with advanced tactical skills, including the ones on screen. Graduating from this course will officially make you a BORTAC operator. But what separates the guys who get selected from the ones who don't? While I have plenty of anecdotes from athletes, the most actionable insights we have come from hard data. And since BORTAC selection is modeled after Army SFAS, we can use that SFAS research to inform what may work. A 2019 study on over 800 candidates found that ruck times and run times were the strongest performance indicators of selection success. The top 25% of ruckers in the class had a 67% selection rate. The bottom 25% just a 5% selection rate. And the top runners were selected 56% of the time. The worst runners only 19%. And for what it's worth, these trends hold across every selection course's data I've analyzed, including the Navy's BUDS and Air Force A&S. But here's where it gets more interesting. A follow-up study looked at the body composition and anthropometrics of candidates to find what kind of body correlated most with success. And they found 3 traits: high lean muscle mass, low body fat percentage, and high bone mineral density, in that order. Candidates with at least 161 pounds of lean mass had a 58% selection rate, and those with 119 only had a 20% chance. Candidates with 14% body fat or less had a 52% selection rate, and at 25% body fat, their chances dropped down to 13.8%. And for bone mineral density, the top group had a 51% selection rate, versus just 26% in the bottom group. So the 3 themes from the data are 1. Aerobic fitness for your runs and rocks, 2. Muscle mass and strength for heavy load carriage as well as injury resistance, and 3rd. Body composition to make sure that your body is in the best position possible to enable your best performance. In general, these are the numbers that I would recommend to be selection ready for BORTAC. But to hit these numbers, it's not going to happen in 1, 2, or even 3 months unless you're already in excellent shape. And even then, you can certainly hit all of these numbers and still be lacking in other areas. That's why I like at least 6 months to work one-on-one with my athletes. I divide training into 3 dynamic phases. A building phase, to build your core competencies of strength and endurance. A refinement phase, to introduce selection-focused fitness while sharpening performance. And then a peaking phase to ramp volume and fully focus on selection skills. Ideally, each phase is a couple months long, but of course, you adjust based on your needs. The building phase is all about building your core competencies to carry you through selection. This means building a base of strength and endurance, and achieving an optimal body composition of 20% body fat or less to enable your performance. During this phase, good weekly minimums for training are 3 endurance sessions per week and 2 strength sessions per week. And then in your refining phase, we'll begin introducing aspects of selection training, including rucking, grip work, and focused timed run pacing. I also like to start introducing metabolic conditioning circuits, which blend strength and endurance and mirror the varied demands and nature of selection events. Some examples might include weighted carries with calisthenics and high-intensity non-impact cardio, or it could even be 30 continuous minutes of rucking, interspersed with movements focused on a weak point, like leg training. And here's an example of what a sample week of training might look like. The peaking phase is your final push before selection. The focus is not on improving your run or ruck times, and in fact, you might even regress, because I'm acclimating your body to such high volumes of running, rucking, load carriage, and also improving your efficiency in functional metabolic conditioning. But while the workload will be high, it's important to note that you will and should have a deload at the end of this phase to drop that excess fatigue and allow for supercompensation to peak your performance at the right time. Here is one brutal session one of my athletes did who was recently selected. It is a killer. And here's a few templates of what training might look like during this phase. If you want to learn the fastest way to prepare for selection, check out the video on the screen, and if you'd like one-on-one help preparing for selection, you can apply at the link in the description.